YouTube, what's going on? It's Dcroft here, and today we have a special breakdown of a $10,000 game we played out in LA. Last video we focused on offense. This one's going to be a little bit more on defense. First thing to mention, we are in 3-3-5 tight on defense, and my abilities is as many ball hawks everywhere as possible. I think ball hawk is one of, if not the best ability right now in college football 25. So that's kind of the ability that I prioritize for myself having. Now, we are going to be running out of 3-3-5 tight, the 3-3-5 mint formation. It's one of the best formations in all of college football 25, and it's how I personally was able to win this tournament. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the game and just take you inside my mind of how I was able to win this game. So, right off the bat, we do start this game on offense. I am on Michigan offense. Again, my VA Dimes breakdown has a lot more when it comes to the offense. First play of the game here, I do just go ahead and run. Just want to get into the flow and the rhythm of a game. I think being able to run the ball, something super simple to be able to do that. Right off the bat here, to focus on Little Ball's defense here for a second, is that he is going to be running this 3-3-5 high odd defense. Now, the thing about this defense is it's got really good sheds with these three people here. And then what he is actually going to be doing is using this middle safety right here. More often than not, you will see people use the little middle linebacker here, but he is actually using this deep middle safety. So what he is saying is he's going to end up being this middle blue. So typically, this is how this defense would look. And this would just be a deep middle blue from the CPU defender. But he is now going to be kind of patrolling this deep middle of the field like here, all by himself. This is kind of a different style of defense. He's not really going to be blitzing me a ton, and it's going to be a lot of shed-based trust his user defense. Second down right here, me knowing this, I did have a little bit of intel of him going into the game. I do try to just run a flood concept the first play, and we do end up just missing this freeform. A common theme throughout this tournament was Cam just missed a lot of throws for me. Didn't really feel comfortable using Cam in this tournament. He was really fast. That's the reason why I ended up sticking with him. But overall, I think there are just a lot of better quarterbacks than him, especially now. This was played probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago in this game. Just wasn't the biggest fan. Right here, we end up trying to throw the corner route. He has a really good switch stick. We also get a red pass on there. And I think if I get an accurate pass, that could easily be a completion. But for me, sadly, just wasn't able to get an accurate pass. Now, we are on a big 4th down to start the game. So my thought process here is I want to make sure that I take his user out of the play. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to streak this guy and post this guy, forcing his user to, at a minimum, be able to guard this post. Then my other 2 routes are going to be a flat and a wheel route from my running back like this. I'm also just going to have this guy on a flat route right here, just to essentially allow better spacing for this wheel route to get open. Now, this is a huge play in the game. If I don't pick this up, I essentially go 0 for 3 passing, and I immediately give him the ball on the plus side of the field. So in my head, I'm thinking about that, and I have to find a way to be able to get a first down right here. And again, Cam actually throws an inaccurate right there. Thankfully for me, is that inaccurate doesn't affect the play and lets me pick up the first down. Now I can start to get into a rhythm, right? And for me, I actually really like that play right there. So we end up actually going back to the same play right here. This time, he does a great job of taking away the deep middle. If you guys look at his user, he does a great job taking away this post right here. So what's going to end up happening is we just have this route. We also have our wheel route right here, but able to throw the underneath route and get a big gain. Now, for me, I definitely did feel like I was clicking at this point. You know, even my first couple of plays, I didn't think they were bad plays. Just didn't happen to get the result that I personally wanted with them. Now, this is a very crucial part of the game. And when I say this, I want to make sure that it's clear that I didn't know that this dude could actually switch stick. And I know what you're going to be telling me. How do you not anticipate a guy in the Final Four of a tournament to be able to switch stick? Well, the intel I had on him, I was told that he just never switched stick. So a lot of times when I was making these reads on corner routes, I'm not anticipating for him to ever get off of this safety. But obviously with the switch stick, you're very easily just able to switch stick here and then go to here and make it a lot easier to guard this corner route like this. So in my head on this play, and this is when I realized, okay, I need to ensure that I'm reading his switch stick too. On this play, when I see my corner route right here just get open, I just throw it. If you guys see, right when I start my throwing animation, notice how now he has switch stick. So he was on this guy, but has switch sticked over here onto this guy, which is going to make it easier for him to get out here and try to make a play over here. Thankfully for me, I do have Calvin Johnson. And Calvin Johnson, I love Calvin Johnson in this game. I think he is so good. He ends up just going for the swat there too. But, you know, Calvin's still able just to get a big body there and kind of negate any chance of that being a pick. Not a good read from me, but able to, at a bare minimum, not have that be a pick. And again, this was the point where I realized he wasn't really stopping this one play. If it's not broke, don't fix it. We go back to this wheel route play. He's kind of being forced to take away this seam streak. Hit Alvin Kamara, able to get to the edge and get 7 points right there. Now, I do want to just fast forward through this game quickly. We did have a quick technical error in this game. One of my settings actually didn't save in this game. I used tap and tap to kick. This was on tap and hold. And, you know, tap and hold isn't even that drastically different. I've had to play with it on before, but when you're playing for this amount of money, I just didn't want to put myself in a spot that could risk it. But with that being said, let's go ahead and break down everything about what I like to do defensively. Now, the very first important thing is that he was very heavy in terms of being able to throw RPOs. That's what he loved to do. Now, what you will actually notice on this very first play and throughout this game is this slot cornerback typically aligns out here. Now, if this slot corner is aligned out here, it's very easy for him to get block, screen, and then get out because it's basically just 2-on-2. I'm hoping that this safety can then come down and make the tackle. I didn't like that personally. Now, if we had a hard flat just moved in a little bit like this, these two players wouldn't get out far enough to block him, and this guy would actually just shoot down and be able to play this much, much better. The next thing, he is a heavy runner, and I knew that going to the game that he really wanted to run the ball a lot. But he ran out of shotgun, and shotgun runs are relatively easy to stop if you use her on a safety. So actually, in this game, typically I would use her this guy, but I'm actually going to use her this guy. It's going to make it a lot easier for me to essentially come straight down right here and blow up the runs in the backfield like that. If I was to be using this other linebacker right here, it's a lot more difficult to kind of loop around and be able to take away any type of run threat. The last thing to mention is I will never, or very rarely ever use this guy because he is going to be my main blitz threat on this loop right here. It's a great blitz in this game, and you guys will actually see it in action as this game goes on right here. So again, first play, right, have my defense perfectly set up. He ends up audibling to a different formation right here. And what you guys will see is my user essentially comes straight down, and I'm able to have a great run stop in terms of being able to hold him to a 0-yard gain. If I even roll that back a little bit, you guys can see just straight down with my user, just being able to take away that immediate thing that he wanted to be able to do. I'm going to take a quick sip of water here. I do have a little bit of cough, so I do apologize if I'm coughing throughout any of this. But again, you guys can see that I'm always moving this slot corner in just to take away any type of RPO, and I'm always bringing down the safety. Now, he actually does something really well right here, is he hits me with an RPO to the other side of the field. Something that I actually did not know about. So, essentially what I would need to do on this play to then take this away is I would need to move this guy out too. I would need to have his starting point be right here and then have him in a hard flat. Because essentially the same thought process is that this guy wouldn't be able to then block him out here. So I didn't know about this RPO in this formation. I thought whenever he went to this formation, it was actually always going to be a pass play. But he hits me with this the first play, or I guess the second play of this game. Gets some good blocking, and he's able to pick up 9 yards. So right there in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I just need to make sure that I am adjusting to that. So again, you guys will actually see him now go back to this exact same play right here. Again, setting up my base defense, bringing this guy down, moving in the slot corner. He ends up going to this. And what you guys will see is this guy now moves out. Now, I actually make a mistake right here, as let me try to get a little bit of a clearer picture. I actually do not move him out far enough. When he's actually right here, he's actually not far enough out. I need to move him even further out right here. And I learned this actually on this play, that he was not far enough moved out. Because you can see that my linebacker, even though he's in a fine spot, he's just still not able to make that tackle. So in my head, I tell myself, I need to ensure that I'm always moving him far enough out. Whenever you're playing somebody like this, you don't want to give them the easy thing. That's a very big thing defensively. You don't want to give them the easy thing ever. Now, 1st and 10 again, whenever he's in like a first down like this, I want to just ensure that I'm always stopping the run. So again, you guys will see me typically on run down be on this guy and then just come down, make the play like this. And then on pass downs, you'll probably see me on this guy a little bit more. Again, slot corners moved in right here just to take away that threat of the RPO right there. Go ahead and play this out, show you guys what he does. And this time it is actually going to be a passing play right here. And then this is the first time I actually send the blitz. So I actually thought he ran right here. So let me break this down in terms of the blitz. Now, if you guys want to make sure to how to run this blitz exactly, make sure to check out civil.gg. Real quick, boys, if you guys are a Madden player that wants to have more fun on the game and win more, if you guys want to score touchdowns like this and bag even the most annoying of offenses, make sure to check out civil.gg. We have over 1,000 active members, and you guys can use the exact schemes I use to dominate in Madden. We recently did a survey that said 99.2% of our members improved their Madden skills. If you guys sign up today, make sure you use code DCROFT for 30% off. The link is in the top of the description, and you will get instant access to win you more Madden games. But with that being said, this blitz is one of the best looping blitzes in this game. So I'm always going to be looping him. Now, what is my base shell behind this? Early in the game, it's just going to be a simple cover 3 in terms of something like this, right? Oops, that was really bad. Just something like this. Now, for me, I'm probably going to end up having this guy in just some type of like hook curl right here, and then this guy in a hook curl, and really prioritizing my switch sticks of being either onto him, or all the way over here. That's kind of my thought process going into my base pass defense going into this game. So again, roll the tape right here. And I don't know if he knew about this blitz or not, but as you guys can see, that looper comes in perfectly. First play of the game, he gets home, and he's able to now be on a 2nd and 14. And for me, in my head, you can even see like his reaction. That's a big thing actually when watching these games back is the reaction of people. You can see he's almost in like a little bit of a shock right there. So in my head, just even in the game, I'm thinking, okay, he really does not know how to block this blitz whatsoever. Now, 2nd and 14, and this is when he does end up running. Again, doing the same thing as always, we're bringing this guy down. And again, with this gap shoot, it's very important to note that I don't even care if I'm the one coming down and making the tackle right here. Essentially, all I am trying to do is I am trying to eliminate any possibility of this run bouncing to like the pylon here. I am just running straight down, and this is what a user defender would call creating havoc. All I am trying to do in this run fit is to create havoc. I'm running straight down, and then I am hoping I take away the essential lane for him to run in. And the rest of these 4 guys are going to be able to be in a spot to make the tackle. Roll the tape right here. You guys can see I'm just running straight down. I'm not even trying to make the tackle. He gets scared, tries to bounce it back. Obviously, there's so many people right there. There's 4 people right there. And I have done my job, right? That is an essential thing for me to get him in these situations. Now again, 3rd and 13. First time I played pass defense, thought it was really good. And I kid you not, I'm not going to switch up anything except one minor thing. Typically in this shell that I showed you guys, like this. Let me quickly get this back here. Looping blitz here. Typically in this shell, I would always shade down for my hard flats. Here, I actually shaded down and then I shaded over top. Now, the reason why I don't want to shade down is I don't really care about hard flats on a 3rd and 13. Shading up is going to allow those yellow zones and those light blue zones to turn into cloud flats and be able to play down the field a little bit more. So instead of these zones underneath playing a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, these are actually going to get much more depth, more like this at a 45-degree angle. Now again, I don't really know what play he's going to call here at this point. I just want to make sure that I'm playing my own base game. I don't want to over-adjust early in this game. You can see he actually ends up blocking his running back here. Makes sense because he is scared of this blitz. And right here, this is why I love ball hawk. Bryce Thornton in that shaded up cloud, you guys can see he also ends up lighting up right here. So if you guys look, he lights up right here, able to get back, able to make that pick, and able to make a good return after the play. Couldn't really ask for much more on my first defensive drive. Now back on offense, really, this again was a pretty simple offensive game. There's not really even a ton of in-depth stuff to get into. It's really just if it's not broke, don't fix it. But one thing I will say is that first play is he did a great job of making an adjustment of now manning up my running back. So he's actually going to man up this guy onto my running back and eliminate this wheel from being open. So he makes a great adjustment, right? So I kind of have to be mindful of that right now in terms of he's done the thing that he has needed to do to take away one of my main things I was throwing on the first drive. So great defense from him right there. Second down, I say, okay, if you want to man up your outside corner, I'm just going to start running corner out concepts. So what I start doing is I start calling corner strike, and I have this guy on a sharp corner right here. Rest of the play, just a simple high-low over the middle of the field. Right here, call the right play, great play. And again, Cam just misses the throw. I think that's already 3 throws this game out of what, 5 maybe, that he has just completely missed. But again, same concept here again. If it's not broke, why not go back to it? We're going to run the exact same concept right here. We're going to go post, streak, short corner actually, table route, and here. Now you might be wondering why I have a table route on this play. Excuse me. Reason behind it is because I want to ensure that I put myself in comfortable field goal range in case there is any type of pressure in my face. You know, I don't want to take a sack here. I don't want to be in a position, honestly, where I even have to kick a 50-yard plus field goal. Now, we all know field goal kicking is much harder in this game. So for me, I just wanted to ensure I had a safety valve route. Same play right here. Cam decides this time he wants to actually hit the throw like a CFB 94 overall quarterback would want to do. But again, not mad at it whatsoever. We end up getting the first down anyways. Now we are in the red area, and specifically when it comes to the red area, this is where I do like to prioritize running the ball a little bit more. But on first down, we go to a very simple concept right here. And I was really looking for my running back on this play. One of the things about this game is this running back route is actually very good. It's almost like a speed in route. So he runs like this. But instead of like his route being like this, it's more like rounded on corner strike. So I actually really like this play, especially down in this area of the field, because it's just one of those easy baby dots that I feel like I'm able to consistently hit. Now, obviously for me, he gets bumped. Kind of just ruins my timing of the entire play. And I say, let's just throw it away right here. And again, you can kind of see right there, I ended up having true clock on too. That kind of messed up the timing of everything. Don't know how true clock got turned on too. Don't remember even when I did that, but true clock was turned on. 2nd and 10 now, I do end up just going to a run. I think when you're using somebody so far away from the line of scrimmage, the run is just something you should have success with. And again, now we are back in a 3rd and 3 situation. Now, one of my favorite red zone formations is going to be this gun tray offset, but you can run this out of really any trips formation. So let me go ahead and pause right here. And this concept is going to be very simple, and this is a staple in both Madden and CFB and has been for years. We're going to run a slant here, a deep in here, flat here. This guy's going to be on an in route like this, and then this guy's going to be on a table route. This is one of the best red zone plays in any football video game that you guys can run. It's a very simple, easy concept, and I think the reads are also very easy to make. I don't think this is a difficult play to make reads on. Now, for me, basically, the initial read is going to be between, hold on, let me show you guys, this player here, this player, and this player. Then, if some way, somehow, those 3 players are all guarded, that's when we then prioritize this again with these 2 players. This is kind of like my 4th read, and then this is going to be my 5th read right here in terms of just kind of what I think about on a play like this. So again, let you guys see roll the tape right here in terms of how this does end up working. Now, I actually do have my in route too. You guys can see square is wide open. Also do have my slant, and I also do have my running back. Really 3 different routes I could have potentially thrown on that play. Feel like I'm in a great spot though. 1st and goal here. And the big thing that's essential is I felt like my red zone offense was borderline unstoppable. I had more runs in this game that I feel like I've had in a red zone offense in genuinely years, right? I had like 6 different runs that I felt comfortable calling at any point. And as I hype myself up right there, first play blown up for a 3-yard loss. But even then, I'm not really mad at that. I know I have the opportunity for 2 more runs to get 5 yards, and I'm confident I'm going to be able to figure out 1. Second and goal right here, what we do end up calling is actually a little bit of a zone option. So this is one of the reasons why I did like Cam, is it made this play a lot better. Pitch it out right there, nobody in walking distance, able to go up 14-0. Desmond Howard is now on the call. And one of the big things about this drive is to start this drive off, I got very lackadaisical with my run defense. So what you guys will actually see defensively is I'm not, for the first couple of plays, going to user this safety. I essentially drag him down a little bit to give the threat of it, but I'm actually going to be using this guy. And what you guys will see is how much harder it is to stop the run when you don't user a safety. If you guys are struggling to stop the run, using a safety is one of the best tips I can give you. So again, right here, let me go ahead and just click the play button. And you guys can see he just calls inside zone, makes the safety miss. And if I don't get that diving animation that at least makes contact there, he easily could have been gone. You guys can see the first 2 rushes, he had 1 yard. That rush, he has 21 yards alone. So in my head, I'm thinking, man, like I gotta, play better run defense if that's something that's going to consistently happen. Again, we're always moving in the slot corner to help take away the RPO. No matter what, I will always do this. And in my head, I still just don't think there's a massive threat of the run yet. Even then, he gets 6 yards. So I'm thinking, maybe I'm going to have to start really respecting it here again in a second. I just thought at 14-0, he'd start this drive off a little bit more pass happy. I was wrong. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that there was a play that he had, and there's a reason why I started using this guy. So whenever he motioned in any one of these receivers, there's 3 guys out here right now. Whenever he motioned any one of these guys in, he actually turned the RPO into like a seam streak. So he would actually have like a seam streak that like ran up like this. And I didn't really know how to stop this unless I was just using it myself. So right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a great threat of me just doing the same gap shoot I have. But if he starts motioning in like this, I'm going to have to go ahead and switch over onto this linebacker right here just to take this away. Because if I wasn't to be on this linebacker, he could just easily hit a throw like this and have an easy play. And that's just not something that I wanted to have happen. So I'll go ahead and let this play roll for you guys and then show you guys the end result here. Hit the play button for you guys. Again, he kind of bluffs it that time. I think he saw that I was overplaying it, so he actually bluffs it right there. Very, very high level stuff right there from Little Balla in terms of just giving a look of something that I thought was a tell and then giving me an entirely different look. Thankfully, though, our safety was far enough in the box to be able to make a good play on that, so didn't have to be overly worried about that. Now, 3rd and 2 right here, he's going to do the exact same thing. And again, that's what I was talking about. But this time he does end up actually throwing the RPO. So again, I see this motion and I'm like, there's no way he goes back to his other run. So again, what you guys are going to see is for the first time this game is how good this hard fought plays this out here. He's going to motion this guy in, give the threat of this, have the threat of the run right here. We have so many numbers over here, right, that I'm not as worried about this run anymore. So again, it's really just my job to take this away and then hope my hard flat does what it's supposed to. If I go ahead and just roll this tape right here, you guys can see hard flat does exactly what I wanted to do. I go for the pick. I truly thought I actually had a pick 6 if he ever threw that. I was wrong though. So thankfully for me, I was at least able to make the tackle. Because a lot of times when you go for a pick, sometimes you can just completely whiff and then they're able to get out easily. Now, I do want to mention this gun bunch wide formation he's in. And one of the things that this formation does really well is attack like this area of the field right here. Does a great job of attacking this area of the field because I have to put so many defenders out here just to stop the RPO. So a lot of what I was thinking about was how my user's first step should always be going this way. Because if my user's first step goes this way in any way, or really like even this way too, he's just going to be able to hit me with an easy route in this area of the field. So that's something I'm being very mindful of whenever he is in a passing situation in this formation. Right here, you guys can see my first step immediately goes out like this, just to be able to give that threat of taking it away. And then you guys will even see I get even more aggressive right here in terms of going back to this deeper in route. So again, you guys can see my kind of bluff it there for a second. And I do have a cloud flat out here, which does end up doing a great job of being able to take away this angle route. End up just switch sticking onto him, able to get an incompletion. Thankfully for me, his cam also got an inaccurate there, so at least I was able to get off the field right there. Maybe not the cleanest defense ever, but we were able to get some good pressure there too. Now, I want to make sure that this drive and my priority this drive is really clear. I want to go up into half with this being the last possession. I would rather go up into half 17-0 with him not getting the ball back than me going up 21-0 and then him having like 2 minutes left to score. So for me, I'm just trying to think about killing as much clock as possible. I want to ensure that I'm killing as much clock as possible. So even though on first down, I do end up getting sacked right there, I'm not even necessarily mad at it because as I said, my goal is just to kill as much clock as humanly possible. We get on a 3rd and 5 right here, and actually we end up going to this corner strike play again here. Kind of what I highlighted in the red zone of this like little speed out. And something that's actually really nice about this play is this tight end, instead of running like a flat route like this, he has like more of an angled flat route on this play that runs like this. So it just guarantees me a couple more yards because if I was to throw the ball like here in comparison to here, it's a big difference in terms of being able to get the first down and not get the first down. So that's part of the reason why I actually went back to corner strike here was because I thought it was a very effective short yardage play that would have success. You guys can see that flat route from the tight end. Does great right there. And again, so far we've done a good job of killing clock. I'm going to end up actually running the ball right here. We're going to get to the 2-minute warning. Big thing to note is I'm snapping this ball under 2 minutes and 30 seconds. If I snap it before 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I have to run another play within this side of the 2-minute warning. 2-minute timeout, honestly, I know it's called something different in college football, but it'll always be the 2-minute warning to me. Again, same thing right here. We do just end up running the ball again. And again, big thing to know is just me trying to, again, get this play clock as low as possible to, again, just kill as much time as we can. Again, we go ahead and snap the ball with 1 second right here. We run a little bit of duo right here, and we're able to pick up a good 5 yards. Now, really smart timeout by Baller. I was not thinking that he was going to take his timeout so early, but for me, he's already seen now multiple times of me taking this play clock all the way down to 1, where he just wants to take his timeout. We go back to corner strike right here, and the only thing I want to make note of right here is I do run back. And the reason why I don't want to be tackled at the 10, like right here, is if we get tackled right there, we can't pick up another first down to, again, kill more clock. And as I said, I would rather go up 17-0 than have him have any chance at getting 7 before half. So again, I do end up running back a little bit here just to be able to have the possibility of picking up another first down. So again, roll the tape. Again, this is just the corner strike setup that I was talking to you guys about earlier. Catch the ball, run back a couple of yards. Aim on conservative too, very important to know. And again, I'm just thinking at this point, kill clock, kill clock, kill clock. Don't care about anything else at this point. You guys can see I'm taking this clock all the way down here. I end up actually calling a little bit of a different run right here. Now, I had labbed this run the night before. I thought it was a pretty cool run. But as you guys can see right here, I just get completely blown up. So kind of a whiff of a run, to say the least. As we continue within this game, though, he does end up taking his timeout. Now, for me, the way I look at it is if I do run twice here, he's only going to have about like 25, 20-ish seconds, give or take, of being able to get points himself. Now, for me, I felt like I was still in such a groove passing. I wanted to just go ahead and stay in my groove passing. Same wheel route setup that we've been running throughout the majority of this game right there. We just end up taking our drag underneath. And then this is so critical for you guys to understand right here. We are on 3rd and 2. Now, I'm running the ball no matter what here. Because the way I look at it is if I don't pick up the first down, you know what, so be it at this point. I'm just going to end up having to kick with like, 20, 15 seconds left, give or take. But if I do get the possibility of scoring a touchdown, I'm not going to score it here. Wide open touchdown, we go down, and this is going to negate 30 seconds that he is going to have to potentially score himself. So again, we end up going back to the same run right here. We just end up running stretch to the other side. But we just killed so much clock right there by going down at the 1, which is going to make it that much more difficult for him to get any points before half. We end up taking our timeout at 12 seconds left. Very important to note is I do have both of my timeouts, so I have the flexibility to go run right here. We go ahead and get back into my base formation that I like to always come out in, especially in this area of the field, the gun wing tight Z from the Michigan playbook. And then we are just going to end up running stretch right here to the left. User isn't able to get there. We're able to walk in. That's basically how this half ends. There's really nothing that ends up happening here. He ends up just running the ball one more time. But going up 21-0, now my mind does drastically change in this half. So in my head, so much of what we had been doing earlier is a very aggressive run shell. So I, in this half, want to make sure that I want to keep that same look, but my coverage shell is going to look more like this. So we're going to go boom, 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 user, right? And in my head, this puts a lot of pressure on my user, basically guarding this area of the field. But the positive of this is I don't have to worry about any easy like post route, right? Like boom, like whatever deep route could be on the offense. I do not have to worry about that in any way, shape, or form. So that was a huge plus for me in terms of being in this cover 4 shell that you guys will see a little bit more this half. He ends up going to a run on first down, and I do still want to play disciplined run defense, especially with that mental note of how he did run the ball earlier. I didn't just want to give him a free 20 yards again. Now right here, we do end up actually running cover 3 though, and he hits me with something I've never seen before. Now this play right here completely caught me off guard. So what essentially he is doing is he is running like it's hard to see because of the camera, but he's running like a deep post right here. And he's basically going to throw this ball in this area of the field where this guy can't react to it. And he has Calvin Johnson himself where he's not going to be able to get to that spot. You guys can see like right here, he like freeforms this down and ags it right in front of my DB. Now my DB doesn't even react or anything like that. And he's just able to throw a super dot right there. So in my head, I have to keep a mental note of that because that is too many yards to give up too quickly too. Again, I actually give it up again right here. And thankfully for me, he gets an inaccurate. I have Deion Sanders out there. So that's obviously what, like 4 to 5 inches in a height difference. Calvin being 6'4", maybe 6'5". I think Calvin's 6'5". And then Deion primetime obviously just being 6 foot. So that is not something I consistently want to do. Now, for me, thankfully, he actually gets out of that formation, and he's just going to go to a little bit of a mesh concept right here. And this is when you, for the first time, see it as something slightly different from me, where I don't even give the threat of this guy coming down anymore, because this guy's going to be going in a deep blue, hard flat, user, loop, hook, cloud. More of like a cover 6 type of look right here is kind of my thought process. And you guys can see actually on this play is that this loop actually just walks in free. So again, my essential player, this looper right here, walks in free. He doesn't end up actually making the sack himself, but ends up making Baller pretty uncomfortable in the pocket and forces him to roll out right into a contain. Now 3rd and 10 right here. Feel pretty comfortable that this is going to be a pass play. And this is when he actually hits me with a play that he had yet to show me yet. And I knew he was running this play. But this is a really good play because this receiver is on like a smash return route. So he's going to be running something like this. This is going to be corner. This is going to be corner. This is out. This is here. Now, defensively, what I'm thinking about right here is basically just make him get to 4th down. That's really all I care about. And I thought my yellow zone in this right here would play a good enough in terms of being able to make this tackle. This is going to be a cloud. This is going to be deep. User right here. Boom, boom, boom. You guys kind of get the gist of what my base defense has been throughout most of this. But where I actually do end up guessing wrong right here is you guys can see that this yellow zone gets way, way more depth than I wanted him to. Just allows him to get the easy first down right there. Now, things that I can potentially start doing to help combat that is putting my hooks on 5. If I was to put my hooks on coaching adjustments in 5, that would do a lot better job in terms of being able to play that. What you guys will see right here now too, this is probably one of the few times I drastically switch up my coverage in this game. I knew on every first down what I had seen is it had always been a shot play to Calvin. It had been like this little post route that we had been talking about. So what I end up actually doing right here is I end up going man to man. So this is man, this is a deep blue. We are now doubling 2 times on Calvin. This is going to be a hard flat. This is going to be my user. This is going to be my loop. Boom, boom, boom. Again, very minor difference, but a very big difference too, because it's taking away the essential route that he wants to be able to throw. If I roll the tape right here too, I actually do shade underneath right here just to kind of take away a different window to be able to throw it. You guys can see that deep blue is back there in terms of being able to have support. So it was just going to be a difficult thing for him to really throw at any point, in my personal opinion. He ends up taking off with Cam right there, and that's like fair to me. I'm putting 2 people on 1 person. I don't have somebody to like then account for like a spy or something like that. So a little bit frustrating to me that he is able to get so many yards off of what I thought was a good defensive play, but that was my thought process behind it. He goes to a little bit of an RPO right here. Again, that same RPO that he had actually been running earlier. Now, he could have thrown this if he really wanted to. A little bit surprised that he didn't. Our linebacker definitely does a little bit better of a job in terms of getting out there that time, but he would have got blocked. But I understand him wanting to just take his 2 yards right there. Now, he has also entered the red zone right here, and for me, the big thing about the red zone is make him work for every single yard. Don't give up any easy yards whatsoever, because I feel like if I give him any easy yards in any way, shape, or form, that's when you're going to start having like bad things potentially happen to you. Again, this hook just didn't do what I wanted it to do. Now for me, I probably should have recognized this, and I probably should have just switched it onto him right here when I noticed how much depth he was getting again. One thing that I will mention is I was shading down. Like, this is a shaded down hook. And you guys can see he just kind of keeps like walking back, kind of acts as if that route is never a threat to him. A little bit frustrating, I will say. Something that I wish was, I don't know, something that I do kind of wish was a little bit better, but also at the end of the day, it just kind of is what it is. Right here with the red zone, first down, you guys had seen he had like to run the ball a lot. So what I do right here is I just kind of stack the box myself. Kind of inverted rules right here in terms of what I was doing earlier. So much of this has been dragging this safety down to blow up the run. I always want to be on the safety opposite of the running back. So I'm actually going to be using this safety. And you guys will see at the last second, like I come down to try to basically just blow this up right here. So again, roll the tape right here. You guys will see. User, granted, albeit a little bit late, still is able to make enough of a difference in terms of him not being able to bounce it outside. Now he does go to a little bit of an RPO, and one of the big things when you get into the red zone is, one, obviously to always load the box. Let me just quickly emphasize what I mean by that, is I have 8 people in the box right here. So you guys will see the box right here. Let me go here. This box, right here. Good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He only has 6 people that can block on this play, essentially just eliminating any chance he has at being able to run here. Then I also have a hard flat right here too, just to help play the RPO flat. End up guessing right and end up having a really good situation in terms of being able to get him now on a 3rd and goal where he has to pass. Now, this is where I get kind of caught in 2 minds. You guys can even see it's taking me a reasonable while to pick a play call here. I do have a goal line defense that I always like to come in, especially in this area of the field. And I thought to myself about running it right here, but he had been struggling so much against my 3-3-5 min. I didn't want to switch up anything and then have something drastically change and give him a free 7. So I actually only call Tampa 2 Tampa 2 out of 3-3-5 min right here. I'll break it down the next play because I end up running the same adjustments on both plays right here. And it's just going to be a very simple, very easy coverage show. There's going to be one slight adjustment we make with this, and instead of deep halves, we are going to be inside quartering. So when I get the chance right here, basically all I'm going to do right here is, it's a little bit difficult because these guys are so far out right now, but this is going to be cloud, inside quarter, hook right here. Then this guy right here, he's going to end up right here. This is actually going to be my user. This is going to be cloud, and then this is going to be another hook somewhere in this area of the field. Essentially, we are just sending a 4-man pass rush right here too, if that is something that you guys are wondering about. I feel like I'm kind of talking at a million miles per hour, so I do also apologize for that. Again, he ends up just hitting me with a really good play over the middle right here. He takes off with Cam. I click on to try to take it away, and then he's able to hit that snag route at the back of the end zone. So while this wasn't the greatest defensive drive ever for me, it still did take 3 minutes of game time. I'm still up 14, and I feel like I have been in much, much worse spots than this. Now, first down, again, priority on this game is kind of like the same thought process I had before half when I was up 14. I don't want to just score quick and go up 28-7. It's very big for me to kill clock right here. So again, a lot of what you guys will notice right here is just me killing clock. A lot of these same basic route concepts I've been going throughout the entirety of the game. Again, this is just the wheel route concept I talked about earlier, are going to be something I prioritize. Right here, we just have the underneath route. Stephon Diggs able to get a first down right there. Now, again, same thing, just killing clock right here. We end up snapping the ball with a little bit more time on the clock right here. Right here, have some great run vision. I'm actually able to get another first down right there. And again, same thing. We want to make sure we just snap this under 30 seconds right here. Again, running the ball, just keeping this clock moving. And so far, just like that, we've already killed 2 minutes of game time. Now, my rushing stats really haven't been that crazy this game. I've watched this back. I was actually at 15 rushes for 51 yards at this point. And really, I think that just goes to a credit to how I was trying to manage the clock. I didn't necessarily care about having those huge gains. The only thing I cared about is this time of possession stat right here. This is all I cared about. If you do not have the ball, you cannot score unless I'm throwing pick sixes. Unless I'm throwing pick sixes, you're not scoring the ball. I think for me, I was obviously in a spot where I wasn't that worried about that. Now, with that being said, I don't just want to get into like run sequence. Want to make sure I'm still chewing the clock, but I want to make sure I'm still passing the ball at a good clip. Right here, again, that route we talked about earlier from corner strike, hit that underneath. And I kid you not, I end up going back to the same play again. It was really at this point where I just started cycling between two plays. I felt like he didn't know how to stop this corner strike play, which was obviously, oops, okay. They switched up camera on me. But come back, boom, boom, boom. I did not think he knew how to stop this play whatsoever. Felt like whenever I went to this play, it was just always money. This time we actually do have the comeback route right here. Able to hit him right there for just a simple, easy read. Now at this point in field goal range, this is when my mind starts to go, okay, do I just go clock? Run the ball 3 straight times, take a minute 30 off the clock, and just try to call it a game. But even then, I still felt like that was maybe a little bit too passive. But as I said, we did want to run the ball on first down right here. Priority, again, making sure I'm always just taking this clock down as much as possible. We do end up running on second down right there too. Then on third down, he actually has a phenomenal user on this play. So he actually, for the first time, is going to try to set me under a little bit of pressure. He's going to rush all 5 of these dudes right here. Let me actually quickly get a pause here. And basically my route concept to beat this is going to be a streak route to take away his user, zig route, flat route, in route. This guy is on a deeper in route. And what you guys are actually going to see on this play is he does an excellent job in terms of, oops, let me mute that. He does an excellent job in terms of right when I throw it, notice how he's right here, but he peels off at a perfect time, creating a pass breakup right there. For me, that's pretty sickening. I did want that first down. I feel like that first down, I start now taking away his timeouts, but I have to take my 3. I have to make it a 3-score game in this situation. Thankfully for me, I've practiced kicking so much we are able to actually drill that field goal like that. But for me, so far, that drive successful. Can't be mad at it. Now for me, going up 17 with 3 minutes left, also noting his last drive took 3 minutes too, I am going to be in very heavy pass defense, but very heavy passive pass defense. So for the very first time this game, I'm actually no longer going to drag this guy down into here. If you run the ball, be my guest. If you're running the ball in this situation and taking your own time, that is more than fine with me. He's going to go back to this play he's had a lot of success with, and we do something slightly different right here. Instead of having that cover 3 shell, we do have cover 4 right here, so it's going to look like this. Looper right here, user patrolling the middle. And this hard flat actually does a really good job in terms of being able to play that route, which was giving us so much difficulty earlier. We actually roll the tape a little bit here. You can see that hard flat does a really good job of just being in a position to take it away early. By the time he's trying to make that read late, he actually has to scramble. We end up getting a sack right there, and we actually, Paul Posledney sadly just completely whiffed on the just the fumble pickup right there. But even then, clock is running at this point. Nothing wrong with that to me. I do like to drag. One thing I will say is I do typically like to drag my safeties down just like a half step, you know, not all the way down. I kind of like them in like this spot right here. Just feels like they just feel like they play slightly better in zones if you just drag them down a little bit. So again, right here, we get on him onto a 2nd and 8. He hits me with this motion right here. Again, users prioritizing using this side of the field. Able to have him throw a quick read right there. 3rd and 7. Again, I am more than fine with this. If you score with really under like a minute left, I have 0 issues with that. And the way I'm playing defense is kind of forcing him to work down the field. Again, same thing right here. We have that looping blitz coming again. And the big thing about this looping blitz, and really something that you guys should take away from this, is it allows me to understand where I need to user things at specific points on the play. So I almost have my eyes in the backfield, and I know at a specific point where I can get more aggressive with my user. So for example, right, boom, here. I notice that this looping blitzer is going to come in this play. So in my head, I don't have to be worried about this deeper route. This deeper route is irrelevant. I don't have to be worried about my user dropping back and taking this away. For me, I can just be super aggressive now shooting down on these 2 routes. There's a route outside of the frame right now. But I just can be prioritizing those 2 routes because I know that timer that this guy is on the loop for. 4th and 4 now, again, this is where I do get slightly more aggressive within my defense, but at the same time, it's a very passive defense. So whenever it comes to big downs, and be aware, I'm thinking, okay, I get a stop right here. This game is won, right? You know, he's not going to be able to come back down 17 with 2 minutes left, and then he also doesn't have the ball. So what I actually do right here is, first of all, I play the sticks. Very first thing that I do is I play the sticks. Now, I actually still just have my cover 4 shell. You guys might be wondering, how am I in a cover 4 shell? But that's also aggressive. I actually don't guard the flats on this play. I kid you not. If he put any flat route on this play, I said, you can have it. You know, so many of his routes, right, were routes over the middle of the field. So it would be something like this, right? Something like this. Something like this. And then any type of route he had going down the sideline, I felt like it was like some form of deep post right there. So in my head, I was like, you know what? I'm actually just going to put 2 hook curls and play the sticks. So these 2 guys are just dropping like almost like a half step or 2 back, giving up the flats here, obviously, but just taking away this middle short area of the field. Go ahead, erase all this stuff right here. And you guys can see it actually works to perfection right here. You know, play the sticks, they do a great job. They play that smash return route great. Able to get that hit stick. And basically at this point, that is going to be all she wrote. Do end up just running the ball a couple of times. He actually does play pretty good run defense right here. Part of me thought about going for it right here. But, you know, I told myself, let me just go ahead and kick my 3 at this point. First down does technically end it for me, but he's just not also going to score 3 touchdowns against me is the way I was looking at it. Now, right here, I will say, I'm probably just going to flip through the rest of this game pretty quickly here. I end up actually just calling a different defense. So what you guys actually can see from me, I am in 3-3-5 stack right now. This has not been the defense I've ran this entire game. When you get to like these points in a tournament game where you've essentially won, right? You know, you never want to get too cocky, but you feel like you've won at this point. I just told myself I'm just picking a stock cover 4. I kid you not. I was like, you know what? This is a very basic stock cover 4. You can deal with this the rest of the game. And I don't end up switching my coverage or anything. I kid you not. I actually just run this cover 4 quarters the rest of this game. Don't even really care about having a blitz threat right here either. For me, it's really just like, if the timer gets under 1 minute right here, if he doesn't get the first onside kick, the game is just over, right? And again, like, this is going to be the type of defense that's going to make him work down the field. Part of the reason why I went to this is you guys actually saw just right there from Nick Bosa, just a really good shed defense. It's going to make him, again, continue to work down the field right here. You guys can see, like, Nick Bosa, he didn't get the shed right there, but he's kind of just creating havoc in the middle, right? And that's all I care about at this point, right? Just continue to let this clock run. You know, again, send 3 right here. Don't actually get a shed right here. He does end up having to roll out, though. Gets out of bounds, but again, like 38 seconds now at this point. Again, just soccer, that's fine with me. Just go ahead, make a tackle right here. Keep him in bounds. Keep that clock moving. So similar play right here. Again, just send 4. Nick Bosa actually going crazy in the middle of the defense right here. Actually was very essential to how I ran defense too, was that Nick Bosa. So thankfully I had that Nick Bosa, because without him, I'm not exactly sure how easy this game could have potentially been. Again, he ends up actually scoring here with a little bit of time left. He gets a touchdown with, I think it's like 3 seconds or something like that. Let me check. Yeah, he rolls out with Cam Newton right here. But that's basically going to do it, boys. I'll go ahead, just look back at the camera. I appreciate you guys all for watching. Balla, great guy. Actually, one of the coolest guys I've ever met at a tournament. Super chill. He loves basketball, by the way. He's also a huge Oklahoma fan. He actually works for the Dallas Cowboys, too. Something I learned about him out there. But that is how I ran my shutdown defense to win $10,000 in the live event for CFB25 out in LA a couple of weeks ago. Happy New Year's to all of you guys, too. I appreciate you guys all for watching a ton. Brand new year. I'm recording this. I think it's on the 2nd or 3rd. Don't know actually what day today is. But appreciate you guys all for watching, and I will see you guys all next time.